Hello everybody and welcome to another Retro Robbins show, where today I'm going to review 4 games and give you some updates quickly. The games I'm going to be reviewing today are from the issue of Crash number 45, October 1987, when Crash, and there it is, was £1.50. So we've showed you a Crash that cost £1. We've now showed you a Crash that cost £1.25. And this is at £1.50, but boy, did you get a lot of magazine for your bang for your buck, shall we say, back then. So before we start today's show, my beloved computer of choice today is my favourite one. It's the Toast Rack, as we know it, the 128K. Yes, the beloved Toast Rack, which I've brought out to play today. So, start with some news. As you probably heard, or if you haven't, I'm glad you're watching because I can update you. The second Retro Revival event of this year that was planned has been unfortunately cancelled or postponed even till next year, and possibly 1 or 2 others as well for the rest of this year. There will not be any more Revival events, or unfortunately, due to the circumstances. It's most understandable, and Chris did a live broadcast explaining why, and we don't blame at all. In fact, it's best that we all stay safe and well, and we can all meet up again in the future and talk about projects of new and projects of old. And you know, it's great to have these events, but it's more important that we have people fit and healthy to go to the events, and we don't want to, shall we say, prolong the life of this virus any longer, which is obvious. Update on the Spectrum Next issue 2. We've now got up to 3,719 backers with 15 days to go from when this video was shot. However, if you're watching this at a later date, which I hope you will do, you probably, you know, it will be a lot less. It might even have closed by then, which means we've got a combined total of 1,296,450. And I say we because anybody who's backed it is involved in it. So in a way, congratulations to everybody who's got involved in the next issue of Next, if you like. And if you haven't, please go ahead and back it while you've still got the chance. It really is a worthwhile project. Don't forget you can play all of your back catalogue on that. Plus with so much more applications that you can use on the computer itself. And that said, let's get on with today's reviews of games. So, as I said, this was reviewed back in October 1987. Let's pick today's first game. And as always, we'll zoom in now so you get a nice big picture of it. Yeah, I've always got to mind the old camera work from Retro Robbins. He's a bit of an unsteady cameraman, but let's give you the best possible picture. So the first game we're going to play today is The Road to Pixelator. I hope I said that right. Mad game. It's a budget game, $2.99. So before we play it, let's have a look at what Crash rated it at. Presentation 84%, that's quite high. Anything over 75 is pretty high. Graphics 88%, that's not too bad. Playability 86%. Addictive qualities 88%. Overall 86%, so it was 4% away from being a Crash smash, which would have been great if they'd have only achieved that extra 4%. Let's see what I think about it, and possibly what you think about it. If you've not seen this game before, well, here's the first look. And of course, I'm using the V2 smart card with the SD card slot in. Now, the first thing I've got to say about this is it does not have AY sound. And you can select from Sinclair 2, keyboard or Kempston. We'll go for the Kempston today. You can also select from where you play. So let's play Fire to start and have a look at the actual game. Nice starting up sequence where it draws out the big screen. Monotone. But we don't mind a bit of monotone, do we? And basically it's just a little bit like a bounder game in a way. However, it lets you off a little bit on this first level because I feel I should be dying. Smooth scrolling, smooth graphics. And this is where the fun really begins. Once we get past the first zone, we can control forwards and backwards. Oh look, he's got nice. It's got a face that's as confused as mine. It's more of a puddle here, so if you bounce over to there, you can't really bounce over. And there you go, I've just lost a life. Oh. And of course when you do die you have to start from the very start, so best that you don't. What happened there? It just shot me across. And as always with these games, I'm ridiculously rubbish. But I think we get the general idea. So I have got further than this, but hey, it's a live show. When I record this, there's no second take, so I have to do it in one take. So there we go. So what do I think about it? Do I agree with Crash? Graphically, 88%. There's no real colour. I like the graphics at the top. Yeah, I agree. I concur. Presentation 84%. I also agree. Playability 86%. Not really. Playability I'd say 70. And addictive quality. Well, if it's not really, I don't find it that playable myself. You may do. You may have a separate, different opinion to me. This isn't always about my opinion. I'm just giving you my guideline and what I think about the game. Addictive quality, I'm going to give it 65%. That's a low rating for me. Overall, they said 86%. I don't do a percentage rating. I do it marks out of 10. So today I'm going to give this one, and I'm afraid so, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, and I think it's a generous half. So that is that game. So let's move on to the next game. And the next game we're going to play is Athena. Oh, this looks good. It looks good. It's got a great loading screen. So let's have a look what Crash said about this game. Let me just pause the AY sound. It's got the bleeper sound, and even the 128K version, which takes ages to load, has only got a bleeper sound. It doesn't seem to have an AY sound, which is most disappointing. Right, presentation from Crash 1987 was rated at 85% for the Athena. Graphics 80%, playability 62%, that's quite low. Addictive quality 61%, once again that's quite low. Overall rating only 75%, so it was at least, well, 15% away from being a Crash smash. Is that good? Is that bad? Well, without no further ado, let's give it a play. And as you can see, it's not quite... You can't kick when you're in a crouched position, but you have to duck. So there's no way around this. You can't really do much about that. Let's put a bit more sound in the background. It's quite a big maze, to be fair. Graphics, yeah, I like it actually. It's a bit slow moving. As you say, you can't kill the baddies in a crouched position, but you get these little blobs on the floor there, and they're really annoying. I'll be honest with you, because you need to be, you can kill them in a crouched position. You get a good jump on it as well, so yeah, maybe that's the way forwards in time. You get a continuation with this, and I also believe you get the chance to redefine the keys, which is always a bonus. Games where you can redefine your keys. See if I can get a bit further for you, show you a bit more of the game before I review it. And of course you can climb up that. So the maze is reasonably sized. The 128K version just loads all the levels. There's no AY sound. But the 48K version, you have to have a level load on it, so in order to be able to store that much data. And we are continuing, because I want to make it to a little bit further along. And if you drop down this hole here, you can go to another level. If I can make it that far. And as always, because I like to adventure, and even though I don't know what I'm doing most of the times, I like the fact you can explore. So this game kind of appeals to me a little bit. So I kind of like it. You collect various items, different power-ups. Once again, monotone. We don't mind that monotone. If it's graphically done well, which it is. Okay, that's Athena. So let's give it my rating, shall we? So the Crash Magazine rated that at 85% presentation. Yes, I agree. Graphics 80%, 85% I would say on that myself personally. Playability 62%. I think that's me, not say 70. Addictive qualities, I'd go 70 again. They said 61%. Overall rating 75%. So what would I rate it out of 10? I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10, which is spot on what Crash have given it, really. So yeah, I can see myself playing that for a bit. I don't know about yourselves, give it a go. But that is Athena. So we got 2 more games to go. Shall we move on to the next game? And the next game we're going to play today is Motus. And, which is great news, this one has AY sound, which is great for 1 to 8K lovers. Not so good for 48K lovers because it's got no sound at all. But yeah, it's you get the choice between joystick and keyboard. You also get to be a monochrome by pressing 2, or multicolour, which I'm going to go multicolour. And yeah, so let's have a look at what the Crash Magazine rated this as. Presentation 79%, graphics 75%, playability 78%, addictive quality 78%, overall rating 74%. So let's give it a go and see what we think about this game. If you haven't seen this before, give it a go. You might enjoy it. If you don't, you know, and you want to, you're probably better than me at it. It's not hard to be better than me at it. Yes, it's got AY sound at the start, but during the game, it has. And the idea is you've got to basically push them off the edge. And it'll move you around. You get various things like powers up to collect. Push them off the edge, you get a bonus. The little... Some of them, they sort of trap you. So you have to be careful not to get too close to the edge yourself. And if you spend too long on a maze, and that was very close, there's a couple of squares start to disappear. So before you collect the last one, just collect all your bonuses. And that's the way the squares disappear, is something fires from the corner. And that thing in the middle just keeps, collect your power-ups, just keeps releasing them. Very colourful game. I think it's quite well done, to be honest. And it's quite addictive because it gets harder and harder and harder, and you have to select certain powers ups to have more pushing strength, shall we say. And as you get further and further on in the maze, right, it tells you what to do here. So you can choose by using one of those, normal, more power, which we'll choose more power on this occasion. And watch that little insect type creature, because he sort of tracks you a little bit and makes it really hard. So the key to that is get rid of them straight away. And as I say, if you take a long time on the level, something will fire and you'll miss a square and you can end up falling down a pit hole. Awooga! Yeah, we'll have that, and that'll do. What you got to do is try and stay alive so you can collect all of these. Oh! Well, I've collected all of them, so that doesn't matter too much, does it? Oh God, they're just in time. Motus! Give it a little bit more of a go. Play it for a little bit longer, see how we're getting on. You don't want to see me. I'm going to give up some real power ups in a minute. It gets really hard in a minute, really tricky. So, you know, what do you think? Is it one you'd enjoy? Challenge, maybe? It's not your run-of-the-mill platformer or strategy game. I'm not going to make it there, I'm afraid. And on this one, you can jump over there. But each time you do that, you crack a tile. So you can jump from edge to edge, but unfortunately, I did it rather badly there. That's what that arrow's for, is for jumps. So far, so good. I don't think we need that much powers up. We've got jumps and everything on this one, so these are quite tricky. Oh, I will collect that P. I promise you. Oh, missed it. I missed it. How about that? Oh, so this is Motors. What do you think? Let's finish it off, shall we? Let's finish the game off. Yes! Oh, no, ran off the edge. So what do I think of that? Well, I don't know what you may think of it, but I'll tell you what I'm going to think of it. Presentation 79%. They could have rounded that up to 80. Graphics 75%. Well, that's all you need, isn't it, really? It's quite colourful, quite graphical. I know it's not brilliant. It's an enjoyable game. Playability 78%. I'm going to give it 90% because that would be the sort of game I could get into. Addictive quality 78%. No, I can see me getting frustrated and having another go and another go. Overall rating was 74%. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. That's quite a high rating, 8 out of 10. So that's Motors. And I think it's a good game. I think it's worth a try. So let's move on to today's last game for today and make sure this video doesn't go any too long. So today's final game is a drafts game, and there's been a number of drafts games, a couple of basic programs. This is Drafts Genius. Nice starting sequence, little bit of music to it. So, what did Spectrum say about this? Well, they rated the presentation at 74%, the graphics were 71%, the playability was 68%, addictive quality 64%, the overall rating was 68%. Note, it doesn't have a loading screen. It's bleeper sound, no AY sound, so yeah, and it effectively is what it says on this. It's a drafts game, so without no further to do, nice little sequence at the start, as you can see, that's quite colourful. You use the cursors to move around. You can be the player one, play the computer. I'm using keyboard. Without no further to do, let's play. And put some AY sound on while I have a look at the game. You get to move first, so with the first move, let's and you have to take them. If you don't take them, you click on one to the other. Now, there's only one move I've got left here. I have to jump in, I'm afraid, because otherwise any other move it won't let you do. Because you have to take the counter, which is the proper draft rules. Invalid move. What did I do? Not click on that. There you go. So let's block him off, shall we? Now I'm normally quite good at drafts. And unfortunately for me, I've got to the worst start possible. But then it's not concentrating on actually playing, it's just concentrating on getting me cursor to the right place to move my next draft. So, and I think the key was to get into here fast, wasn't it, really? Gives them nowhere to move, doesn't it? Eh? Before you run out of moves. And of course, if I ain't careful, he's going to take him. So that was probably a bad move. I didn't think that through, did I? I can still. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to do it anyways. Well, I can imagine this being a good game if you can play your friends and that. But it can also be very frustrating. What was that? Oh, I see. I've got to take him, haven't I? Ah, I missed that one. It's been a while since I played drafts. So yeah, Drafts Genius. And that was reviewed. So what do I make of it? Let's see. Its overall rating, we'll cut it a little bit short, shall we, today? And its overall rating was 68%, which is effectively 7 out of 10. And I would say I completely agree with that. Addictive qualities, well, it's a game that we all know and love. So it's an age-old game. We know how to play it. We've all played it. I don't like playing my old man. Even though he's 94, he can still whip me at it. I remember when I was younger, I used to be very horrible to him and say, "You're cheating! Dad, you can't cheat me." But no, he's just really intelligent, my old man. He's unfortunately, that gene didn't pass on to me. So that concludes today's Retro Robbins show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please subscribe. I'll be making more videos throughout the week. More reviews of old games. Hopefully we're going to find 1 or 2 gems that you may not have seen before and you'd like to try yourself. If not, you might see 1 or 2 games you've forgotten about but you have played before, and it might encourage you to play them once more. In the meantime, you all take care. I hope you have a good working week and weekend, and I'll speak to you again soon. And as always, from Retro Robbins, goodbye for now and thanks for watching.